Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Pahrump Early Learning Academy, where we are more than just childcare.
Hi, I'm Monique Mitchell with KPVM Television. My children attend Pella and they love it. The curriculum they have is pretty amazing, and my children learn what they need at their level.
Not only are the children learning, they're having fun, and that's what matters.
I like Pella. They help you with your homework, and it's fun.
Give us a call today to tour our facility at 751-5335.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349.
And tonight on News 46, a storage building at a church catches fire. A new group is forming for providers, and the auditorium is packed for the performance of Aladdin. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Monday, January 26, 2015. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. There is a blizzard of historic proportions bearing down on the northeast region of the United States. Weather and NOAA Beacon will be updating us on the storm later in our broadcast. Education and tax code changes weren't the only dramatic shifts Governor Brian Sandoval called for in his State of the State address last week. He also announced a proposal to pump tens of millions of dollars into a program that lawmakers recently considered cutting altogether: child autism support. The plan calls for adding $73 million to a program that had a $10 million allocation last budget cycle, a figure that represents a significant chunk of a budget proposal that has drawn criticism from fiscal conservatives. A building on a church property caught fire Saturday night on Homestead Road. Emergency crews responded to the Second Missionary Baptist Church on Homestead Road near Gamebird on Saturday night for a reported structure fire. The structure that was on fire appears to be a storage building on the same property as the church. Fire crews entered the door and found it was a room and contents fire and were able to extinguish the blaze. 9 county sheriff's deputies and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were all on scene. The fire was reported by a passerby who saw smoke coming from the building. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue are investigating the cause of this fire, which appears to be accidental. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. And the Pahrump Valley ROTC invited several special guests to speak to their kids at their school recently.
Well, I worked with Tom Waters to bring in a lot of the disabled vets, the American U.S. veterans, and then also knew Paul Roan to bring him in to talk to the cadets and some of the students about the history. So it's more of a living history. So they actually get to talk with and listen to some of those soldiers, sailors, and airmen that have actually served in combat, served during the wars of the U.S. And so they get a sense of the history of where we're at today.
I think a really good event. The kids got to see and meet you guys and find out about what you kind of have went through. Did you think about what you were going to express to them?
No, not really. I told the colonel, like I said up there, I'm not very much of a speaker, but then, I'm honored to be here and be part of this. I mean, and I'm very grateful to Colonel Mary for inviting me. It's an honor to be here and to face and address the kids at a high school here.
This is part of ROTC and history classes?
Right. I opened it up for the junior ROTC, and then I sent it out. Mr. Brockman said, yeah, let's see if any of the history teachers want to, and every single one of them jumped on it. So, and since we had such a large audience, the PE coaches said, bring them on in. My kids can sit in and listen as well. So we had close to 300, a little over 300 kids today. So that's a fourth of the school sitting through the 1 hour that we had to talk with and listen to what the veterans had to say.
Did you kind of gear them up and get them ready for this speech today?
Nope. This is one of those things I just wanted them to come in because I didn't want it to be, dictated on what I wanted them to speak their mind and from their heart. When you look at the leadership of Pahrump, most of them, or a good portion of them, are veterans, and so they have a story to tell, and it's the story that each of us have to tell that have served that actually inspire and help direct a kid towards thinking about where he wants to go, whether it's in the military or whatever, doing service or planning his future. What I found is a lot of our kids really don't plan that well. It's a last minute thing, and so having them look at what these gentlemen have gone through may inspire them and have them look further out than their next meal.
And News 46 will be continuing with this story in the coming days. When we return, we'll have your Desert View Hospital health tip.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Welcome back. Vitamin D is known to be important when it comes to bone health and also in diseases where inflammation occurs, like asthma. Many people, including some of those with asthma, have low levels of vitamin D. A new study examined whether adults being treated with inhaled steroids could better control their asthma if their vitamin D levels were increased to normal. Catherine Dolph explains in this week's JAMA report.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Mike Mitchell has dealt with asthma since he was a child.
I've gone from not being able to run basically a block as a 7-year-old to running half marathons now.
Mike helps control his asthma with an inhaled steroid medication. It reduces the inflammation in his airways. He also had low vitamin D levels.
Perhaps by replacing the vitamin D, we could actually help their medications work better, in particular inhaled steroids, and that would help control that inflammation and control their asthma better.
Dr. Mario Castro from Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis and co-authors looked at 408 adults, including Mike.
Big deep breath. Blow hard.
They all had symptomatic asthma requiring inhaled steroids along with low vitamin D levels. Half the participants were given high-dose vitamin D supplements for a total of 28 weeks. The other half were given a placebo.
There was no effect on asthma control, and this was whether or not we looked at asthma exacerbations or their symptoms or their control of their asthma. All those things were not affected by replacing their vitamin D. Replacing vitamin D is not indicated in patients with asthma, even when their vitamin D levels are low.
For Mike, his asthma isn't holding him back.
I am living very well with the disease. At this point in my life, it's very controlled. And I am looking forward to actually running in a full marathon this fall.
Catherine Dolph, the JAMA Report.
Study participants did not have any adverse events associated with taking vitamin D. Golden Gaming announced today that it will merge with Minnesota-based Lakes Entertainment, giving the Las Vegas-based company ownership of a Maryland casino while transitioning into a publicly traded corporation. The newly named company will be called Golden Entertainment and will be traded on the NASDAQ, replacing Lakes' current listing. Lakes and Golden Gaming estimate the combined company would have 2015 revenue of $348.1 million and adjusted cash flow of $42.5 million. The transaction is expected to close by the end of the year and is subject to shareholder and regulatory approval. Privately held Golden Gaming, which was established in 2001 by the Sartini family, is Nevada's largest slot machine route operator with more than 7,600 games in 600 statewide locations. The company's tavern division has 48 locations under 5 brands. Golden Gaming also owns 3 casinos here in Pahrump. The company has 2,100 employees in Nevada. Inspiration Senior Living is asking for those who offer services to seniors to get involved in a new group forming now.
We're actually going to do a focus group first Friday. Every month we're going to do a networking healthcare group, allowing for different providers to come in, maybe tell us a little bit about the services that they provide, and an opportunity for us all to connect and have a good referral base for one another.
So this is going to be for people that are interested in providing services to seniors or healthcare in general?
Pretty much, I mean, we're trying to gear it more towards seniors, just because that's what Inspirations is, as far as assisted living and independent living. However, you know, that actually is a pretty wide area. There'd be referrals from all kinds of different businesses, not necessarily just healthcare, but definitely more in the line of seniors and healthcare.
So what we're talking about is that you'd like people from the senior center to come on by, maybe even people who are medical supply businesses,
Yes.
Hospice care workers?
Absolutely. And, you know, one of the things that we're going to do with this program is every month, every Friday, every first Friday when we have our meeting, the guest speaker, the charge will be $50 for the meeting for them to present to the whole group, and that $50 will be donated to the senior center. So we're pretty excited about being able to give just a little bit back to the senior center.
And so people can get involved in this and come on by. Are you going to also open it up for the public, or is this to gather information so that you can better serve the public?
It's really just designed to allow us to provide better service to our seniors, so that, you know, we kind of all are in the same business of helping seniors, and really, so not so much just the whole public, but everyone in the medical end of it that assist seniors in the valley. There's so many here, and so it'll be hopefully a pretty big group.
So how can people get involved? What's the phone number?
775-751-2300.
Okay, so once again, the date and time of this event.
We're going to do it the first Friday of every month. It'll be from 8 a.m. to 10 at Inspirations Senior Living, and we hope that, you know, as our group grows, we reach out and just have a lot more services available to our seniors.
U.S. Senator Reid is recovering at his Washington, D.C. residence after a 3.5-hour surgery today on his right eye. The surgery was successful in removing the blood clot in his right eye, additional blood from the front of his right eye, and repairing the orbital bones in his right brow, temple, and cheek. Doctors have said that they are optimistic about the prospects for regaining vision in his right eye, but there is no definitive verdict yet. And we do want to update everybody on Vern. As you know, our own CEO and founder of KPVM-TV and KA's Country Radio, Vern Van Winkle, did suffer a heart attack. I saw him on Saturday, and I can tell you he actually had 3 heart attacks. He told us that this one's called the Widowmaker. We're lucky to have him with us. He was being told that it was possibly heartburn when he went to the doctor a couple times, and so that's why he had a total of 3. He did have a little setback with some blood clots today, and he is in the emergency room, but he is doing well. If you would like to leave him a voicemail message, you can call here at the station at 727-9400, extension 201, and leave him a little get well voicemail message, and we are letting him hear those. Or you can send him a card and letter here at 890 South Higley in Pahrump, Nevada 89048, and that's KPVM-TV 890 South Higley, Pahrump, Nevada 89048. We'll be back in just a moment.
Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
News 46 stopped by Grandpa's Barbecue, who have now chosen a new location to park the rig on Highway 160.
Some people suggested that this is a convenient spot for them to get to from different parts of town, so we decided we're going to try to do this Monday through Friday. We're going to do some lunches for people. We do our slow smoked brisket. We do a chopped rib sandwich. We have our brisket burgers, and we're starting hot links, bratwurst, and chicken. We're going to probably start that on Monday, and we're just trying to be down here for the crowds that maybe just want a little bit fresh. You know, I'm not taking anything away from the big chain restaurants, but sometimes you just don't want a big chain burger. We're trying to be here for them and try to get the people in here and see what we can do.
So, beginning at what time every day?
We're going to try to, we're definitely going to be here from noon until we run out of food. We're trying to now be down here by 11 since the weather's getting a little beautiful. And as it progresses towards summer, we're going to actually try to work into somewhat of a brunch menu. We've had some suggestions for some stuff to go with our brisket, so we might start trying to be down here about 8 a.m., probably at the end of March.
So you guys have a Facebook page, and you're taking suggestions from the public there, too?
Yes, ma'am. Grandpa's Barbecue Shack and Grill, and We have anybody that has some open suggestions, say that they maybe want some barbecue chicken, we want to try catfish, different things like that. We're open to suggestions, and if we have enough people comment on it, we're willing to try it. We're thinking about maybe getting together, like since we're going to be here Monday through Friday, we're thinking maybe a Thursday special day, and we'll take suggestions, and then Thursday will be the day where maybe we come down here and we sling some of these specialty items and see how they go, and if they go good enough, we'll just add them to our menu.
So if people want catering, can they give you a call?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We can do any party under about 40. With the cost of moving it and everything, we kind of have to have a movement fee of about $50. But anything over 40, we absorb the $50 fee to move it. But we can do parties from hamburgers and hot dogs clear up to slow smoked barbecue.
What's the number?
Our phone number is 775-537-9035.
And we're right here, actually on Highway 160, right next to the site of Trudeau Used Car Center, where AutoZone is, and of course right next to Phantom Fireworks.
Yes, ma'am. We found this this little alcove from where one of the old mobile home sales places used to be. And like I said, we've had suggestions from our friends at the county buildings and some of the buildings around here that this would be the easiest place for them to get to. So we're amenable to whatever you suggest. We'll see if we can bend to fit it.
Jacob McDonald has been taken into custody for domestic battery, strangulation, destroying property of another, and possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana. The victim in this case reported to deputies that her estranged husband, identified as McDonald, broke into her home and strangled her. She was able to break away from McDonald, in which he allegedly followed and punched her and broke out her car window while she was driving away. He also allegedly threw an object at the car and broke the windshield. Police found McDonald when he was reportedly fleeing from a convenience store and located a marijuana cigarette in his pocket. He was arrested and booked into the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center for various charges. And Nye County Sheriff's deputies have arrested Brandon Lee Allen for burglary and under the influence of a controlled substance. Deputies responded to a report of a burglary at a residence on West Iron Street where several items were reportedly missing. The victim suspected his brother-in-law, Brandon Allen, was involved. A female told deputies that Allen had her pawn some items he said were not stolen. Deputies made contact with Allen. He allegedly told them he was under the influence of marijuana, Percocet, and Xanax. He was arrested and booked into Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. 2 directors from Missoula, Montana worked with local kids this past week to put on 2 shows at the high school Saturday.
Come to the palace with the royalty. Come to the palace, join the parade. Sinbad the sailor sails the 7 seas. Donkey and a goat join the parade.
The Pahrump Arts Council presented the Missoula Children's Theater this past week at Pahrump Valley High School. 2 performances were held on Saturday, one at 2 p.m. and one at 5 p.m. The performances were open to the public. Almost 50 students performed at Pahrump Valley High School in their auditorium to a crowded room. The Missoula Children's Theater tours throughout the United States and also came complete with costumes, scenery, and props, as well as makeup. The kids auditioned on Monday and rehearsed every day after school in time for Saturday's performance. The money raised for the Missoula Children's Theater goes to help the Pahrump Arts Council's children's programs. For more information or to become a member of the Pahrump Arts Council, call 751-6776. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. And that was a great show Saturday. You know, I'm on the board of the Pahrump Arts Council, and I got to say, it was so glad to finally bring the Missoula Children's Theater back here to our town. What a great performance, kids. Chewie the Chihuahua has been found. Chewie was missing for several days, and KPVM-TV posted him on our local Pahrump Facebook page and on television and radio. According to his owner, Chewie had fallen into a mechanic's pit on Joanne Street. His owners were frantic trying to find him. The owner said that some nice woman took him in and contacted the vet listed on his shot tags, and Chewie is now home safe. It's good to hear. And when we come back from this break, we'll tell you about that blizzard on the East Coast.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body.
Hello and welcome back to News 46. Today is Monday, January 26th. Well, today we had cloudy skies with a high of 68 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 59 degrees. Winds were coming from the southeast today at 5 miles per hour with gusts up to 9 miles per hour, and the UV index today was 1, which is low. Humidity was at 39% today. Sunrise was at 6:50 this morning, and the record high in 1975 was 77 degrees. Well, tonight we have about an 80% chance of rain. We'll have a low of 42 degrees this evening. Your average temperature around this time of year is 40 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south at 5 miles per hour with gusts up to 6 miles per hour this evening. Humidity will be at 89%. Sunset was at 5:04 this evening, and the record low in 1937 was 10 degrees. Well, tomorrow we'll have partly cloudy skies with a high of 62 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. Winds will be coming from the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour with gusts up to 12 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 65%. Sunrise will be at 6:49 tomorrow morning, and the UV index will be 3, which is low. For our 7-day forecast, we have a little bit of everything. Again, partly cloudy skies tomorrow, sunny skies on Wednesday. Some clouds should be rolling in on Thursday, and a chance of rain again this Friday. Your high temperatures will be starting off in the low 60s. That'll be going up into the mid-60s around mid this week and dropping right back down into the high 50s this Friday with that rain coming in. Your low temperatures will be looking at a similar pattern. It'll be starting off in the high 30s, going up into the low 40s mid this week and dropping right down into the high 30s again with that storm coming in, and then your high 30s should be pretty constant through there. And then the first major storm of 2015 is expected to hit the northeastern United States this evening. The National Weather Service is describing this as a crippling and potentially historic blizzard. Now, what you're looking at right here is a map of the northeastern United States, and it's showing all the different advisories, warnings, and watches that are being issued in this area. In the purple of Pennsylvania, you will see the winter weather advisories, and then you're seeing some winter storm warnings appearing up in these pink areas from Maine into the Massachusetts area. And then along the coast, you have these blizzard warnings in red, and then you have winter storm watches in blue. Now, the Department of Transportation is saying to these citizens in this area of the country to stay home unless it is absolutely necessary to go outside. And the heaviest snow is expected to fall between 7 p.m. this evening and 12 noon Tuesday Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you so much for that report. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of News 46 from everyone up here at KPVM-TV and, of course, on our country radio station 95.9 KACE. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.